I don't know. Should I be surprised that the interaction between C.J. Stroud and Caleb Williams had this many people talking yesterday? It was on national debate shows. It was getting people up in Chicago agitated.
Yeah.
It was, and it's funny, the agitation. And I honestly, like, the initial appearance of what we're about to talk about here that I saw was after some of the C.J. Stroud mic'd up blurbs surfaced on the internet, and it was Texan fans getting offended that Caleb Williams looked like he didn't want to talk to CJ after the game. And for those of you who are going, what are you talking about, Sean? What are we talking about here? Got to get up to speed. CJ Stroud was mic'd up for the game on Sunday against the Bears. The full video is out. It's like a 6-minute video. It's excellent. As mic'd up videos go, it's really, really, really good. So go out of your way to find it sometime later today. There was an interaction with C.J. Stroud and Caleb Williams at the end of the game as they were shaking hands where C.J. was giving Caleb a little bit of encouragement. Looked like Caleb started to walk away, and C.J. said, "No, wait, come here." And then he gave him a little bit more encouragement, and then the two dapped up and left. This is a total – Ben, how long is this cut we're about to play here? This is like maybe 12 seconds, right?
Yeah, 12.
Literally 12. I guessed it. Okay, good. Can I get a ding for that, Ben? Thank you. I just want to feel good about it. Thank you. Here's C.J. Stroud and Caleb Williams at midfield following the game. Take a listen.
Good job out there, bro.
Yeah.
Hey,
keep going.
Stop taking those hits.
Yeah, I know.
Hey,
Yeah.
Look, come here. Learn from those mistakes, and everything that you got, bro, is in you already, bro. You're going to be a hell of a player in this league.
Yep.
All right, boy.
Appreciate it.
For sure.
All right, so 12 seconds worth of, hey, stop taking those hits. Really good advice, I would say, right?
Yeah,
And then Caleb pulling away, CJ saying, hey, come here. You're going to be a really good player in this league. You know, you just got to, I don't think there was anything where he was talking down to Caleb. I think he's just
little broing him. That's
the verb I'm learning in the last 24 hours is he little broed him.
He little broed him, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess.
I guess, okay, so there's a couple different, basically, I don't think you should be surprised that people read into this a lot and made a huge deal out of it, because there's been a narrative about Caleb Williams, and maybe he's not that guy in terms of attitude or what have you. Yeah. And then CJ has gotten to a point where there's been nothing but full-blown adulation regarding him for an entire offseason. At some point, there's a whiplash to that.
Yes.
There always will be a whiplash to that. You know, Pat Mahomes had a period of time where, wow, what a great story, what a good kid, blah, blah, blah. Now he's despised in many corners. So you should not be surprised that people read way into this.
No, you're right. You're 100% right. And we're going to hear from CJ in a second, and then we're going to hear from people who are really upset with CJ, which is the strangest thing ever to me. I don't know. But, yeah, you're right. That's a good point, Seth. It's like the NFL is a room full of piñatas, and they've not yet gotten to taking a swing at the C.J. Stroud piñata yet. Like,
I've been waiting for it.
I get to hit this one right here?
I can take my blindfold off?
Yeah.
It's like you're having a birthday party, and none of these stupid kids are getting the piñata open, so you're like, okay, take the blindfold off. Just let's go.
Right.
Let's whack away.
Right. So let's hear from CJ on this, because CJ was asked about it yesterday at his press conference on the interaction between him and Caleb Williams after the game.
I had some of the best advice given to me last year, and me and Caleb, I was not trying to like treat him like I was trying to like little bro him or nothing. He knows that too. I have a ton of respect for him. I told him I have respect for him. But I had so many guys coming to me after games last year, and that meant the world to me. That those guys even thought about giving me advice. So I just try to get back to what the game has given to me. So I wish him the best, man. I want him to do amazing in this league. I think he will. I think that he'll get his groove. And once you get your rhythm, I didn't get my rhythm until like week 3, week 4. So I can see his game picking up from here. And so, I don't think he was trying to like, be any towards way. He's just upset that they lost. I totally understand. So I have a ton of respect for that guy, man. I want him to do extremely well, just like any other guy until we play on that day. You know what I mean? And after the game, we can be cool. You know what I mean? But I'm definitely, rooting for him and want to see him do extremely well.
Great answer from CJ. Great, not surprised. Great answer from CJ. And I believe everything he's saying there. He's not going over to little bro him. They've got a relationship. And he's trying to, he's trying to encourage him. The one piece of advice that he gave him, stop taking all those hits, is really good advice for Caleb Williams, I would say. The stuff we're about to hear, like, I understand Caleb Williams, and so did CJ, being upset. Like, you know, he just wanted to get it. Like, CJ understood why he wanted to get out of there. He just lost the game. The people getting upset on behalf of Caleb Williams for this thing is some of the strangest stuff I've ever heard. It's really weird to me. I don't know.
Like all of a sudden now they've decided to take up for this guy that I'm guessing many of them have lambasted for his cavalier attitude or crying in his mommy's bosom or any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So the one thing I would say about from Caleb's perspective, as I sat and reflected on this for far too long yesterday, was I think the biggest thing, if I put myself in his shoes, you've got your friend that's, you know, giving you some encouragement, but then as a rookie and your head is spinning, you've just been sacked 7 times. You had multiple big hits. Your offensive line did not play well, but you know that you've made some mistakes. It's CJ saying, don't worry about those mistakes you made. Where I might kind of be like, it's like if you just lost your job and somebody came up to you and was like, hey, man, it's going to be okay. Don't worry about the fact that your wife also cheated on you last year. That's all cool by now, I'm sure. You're just kind of like, all right, man, I just want encouragement. Okay.
Yeah. Don't worry about blowing those 2 big deals last month that we needed to bring in to make quota.
Don't worry about all the reasons you totally deserve to get fired.
Right,
yes.
right. Okay, so that's a good point. So here, okay, we're going to hear from a few people here, including Mike Florio. Florio was on our sister station yesterday with Bernstein and Holmes on 670 The Score. Dan Bernstein, longtime host up in Chicago, and he thought that maybe CJ was overstepping his boundaries a little bit when it came to giving advice to the Bears starting quarterback.
We were debating this, of where Stroud is coming from. I found it to be a little presumptuous, if not performative on his part. I think it's one thing. What do you think the protocol is for when you can give advice like you're an OG quarterback in that moment after a hard-fought NFL game? If you're the same age as a guy, to go over and treat him like he's your kid, I could understand if Caleb Williams is like, look, I might hear this from Aaron Rodgers. I'm not hearing it from you.
Okay, we're going to hear from Florio in a second, but that was Bernstein laying out his view on it there.
Is this like the unwritten rules of base? Is there a protocol?
I don't know, man.
What does the guidebook say? If only we could get our hands on that guidebook. It seems somewhat presumptuous.
It was, if not performative. This is okay, and we're gonna get. He said that we're gonna get to Florio and we're gonna get to Nick Wright too. I was shocked by how upset Nick was about this yesterday, but this is where I'm at. Okay, first take a step. This is 12 seconds we're talking. They interacted for 12 seconds on the field. These people are making it sound like he pulled him aside and took out a PowerPoint for the game and saying, here's all the things you did wrong and here's my advice on how to fix them. This Bernstein, though, okay, this is a very Chicago-specific thing to me. Your quarterbacks have sucked since time immemorial with your team. You should be happy. You should be happy that any good quarterback is pulling your quarterback aside and saying anything to them, because the standard for Chicago quarterbacks is rock bottom, dude. So you should be hoping that you should be hoping this happens with Caleb Williams after every single game, with every single quarterback that's better than him, pulling him aside and saying something to him in his ear, because your history of quarterbacks sucks.
You guys are going to be trying to drown him in that damn lake of yours before November.
Yes.
I'm sure you like polar bear plunge or whatever they do up there.
Yeah, weird stuff. You want to hear from Florio on this?
Oh God, I can't hear enough Florio. Give it to me.
Imagine. Here we go. Here's Mike Florio, and if he thinks CJ was overstepping a little bit.
I try to watch objectively. Yeah, he seems like a guy who just lost a football game and really isn't interested in getting a lecture at midfield about basic, obvious stuff. Keep fighting. I mean, I don't need to hear cliches. I want to go change my clothes and get the hell out of here. So, I think some made too much of it. But you're right. At what point did C.J. Stroud become Tom Brady? He's not there yet. So I think it was just a weird thing all around. I think it's not C.J. Stroud's place to preach to a guy who's just 1 year behind him by way of experience. And from Caleb's perspective, look, you just lost a game. You really, you don't want to hear it. But I wasn't surprised. I was disappointed, but I wasn't surprised that the knee-jerk reaction by most was, oh, who does Caleb think he is?
Of all the people who are licking their chops to take a swing at C.J. Stroud, like Florio's probably like, oh, finally.
Oh, he's hoping so much that C.J. will engage back with him somehow because that is gold for him, like literally gold or Bitcoin or however he chooses to deposit his web money. Yeah. So here's the thing. I see these Chicagoans are all hung up on the age thing and forget about the fact that CJ's been through an entire season so far, and that also these guys have had a relationship that goes back to middle school. Yeah. They've been good friends since they graduated high school, but they've known each other since middle school. But I think, I was watching the Pacific, the miniseries on HBO about the fighting in the Pacific during World War II, and one of the storylines there is there's these two childhood friends, one of them goes off to war, and then the other one comes and joins him a year or two later.
Okay.
Guess who's got some good advice for the guy who's the exact same age as him? Like, the guy that's been there getting shot at and stuck in holes and everything. Like, he's been through the war, literally. Yeah, he's got some advice for his I'll say young friend, even though they're the exact same age, and it's good advice. Yeah, because he's been the football metaphor would be that CJ's taken those hits. CJ's done some of this. He's been through all of it.
If anything, the people who should be upset at this are Texan fans who should be so upset that CJ is kind enough to do this. Like, what are you doing trying to help out somebody from one of the other 31 teams? This is a 32-team war. Like, would you have walked up to the German soldiers back in World War II and said, hey, buddy, it's...
If you guys kept your weapons clean, you'd probably have it. They wouldn't misfire so much.
I would tell CJ, stop giving advice. Stop being so nice to people.
I'm sitting over here just watching you guys fumble around, and it's annoying me.
Yeah. Keep your head up, bro. Keep your head up. Let's hear from Nick Wright on this. Nick Wright, first things first, FS1. Here's Nick upset that these two quarterbacks who are just weeks apart in age, that one would give advice to the other.
I think Caleb handled it as well as you could have, given the fact he had to be absolutely furious. That is so they are contemporaries. That is not a big bro, little bro situation.
It was, though.
That's not. No, first of all, do you know how old Caleb Williams is? He's 23. He turns 24 in a few weeks. Do you know how old C.J. Stroud is? He's 23. He turns 24 in a few weeks. This is Caleb Williams and C.J. Stroud. Do you know how Caleb looks at C.J., I would imagine? He remembers this night when they were colleagues on the dais at the Heisman Trophy ceremony, and Caleb won the award. Like, the idea that this guy
irrelevant means nothing.
I totally disagree with
nothing.
you.
We ain't in college no
That's
more.
fine.
I'm 8 times better than you.
Okay.
Listen to me.
No, but that's not how it works.
I'm trying to help you.
Tell him, Brew.
Hey, let's not forget this, too. Whether you like it or not, whether you think it's notable or not in terms of whether Caleb Williams can be a good football player, he cried in his mother's bosom after a loss. Maybe this is exactly what Caleb needs.
Right.
Maybe Caleb needs a little bit of tough advice and love. His dad's off trying to negotiate ownership shares. And what did they talk about? What did old performative Dan Bernstein talk about in the next segment? What percentage of the Bears they want to give Caleb Williams right now?
Right.
Boy, he's really earned that.
Yeah.
We should give him 25% ownership in the Bears.
Dude.
Caleb needs some damn advice and some qualified parenting from, his chronological contemporary, but not his emotional contemporary.
Okay.
All right?
Here's a good advertisement for this text is a good advertisement for watching on YouTube. Glad I didn't hear this segment on the radio. Seeing the YouTube feed is great. The faces you guys are making are phenomenal.
Is he enjoying the horses behind me?
Are we being performative right now?
I would say we're being downright performative.
Downright performative.
That Dan Bernstein.
Dude.
Dan Bernsperm. Listen, Dan Bernsperm, I'm tired of you spreading your seed all over my damn airwaves, all right? You're done here. We're putting a condom on your ass.
The only thing performative is Seth's attempted a magnanimous personality this morning.
I did a pretty good job of it. I was magnanimous for the first segment.
Like 18 minutes. Yeah, you did a good job.
For those of you who are not on the YouTube stream, I'm in an Airbnb in Eugene, Oregon, and people have been admiring the picture of the horses.
You need to take that with you.
Behind me.
You need to take that with you and
I'm
hang
gonna
it on your.
No way! I can't risk my Airbnb rating.
Oh, come on, it's worth it. Do it for the
No, I
bit.
am a model citizen in Airbnbs. I've got the these people complain about the cleaning checklists and everything. I want more cleaning checklist items because it keeps me from losing stuff and leaving it behind. Yes, but I will not steal these horses.
No,
these wild Oregonian stallions.
People have noticed that painting quite a bit this week. I'll just say
Frankly, I think these horses are a bit performative.
a little bit. Yeah, if not, what was the other word he used? Presumptuous. Those horses are presumptuous, if
presumptuous, dare I say, performative.
Oh my God.
Look at them running around, gallivanting about, just because they know they have an audience.
Yeah.
If we weren't here watching those horses, they would just be standing eating grass like the dullards that they are.
That's right.